The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you were the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality. This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Welcome to the Final Fantasy Lorecast, a podcast dedicated to the history and lore of the Final Fantasy series. Join us as we take a deep dive into the different worlds, characters, and so much more. Welcome back, Warriors of Light, to another episode of the Final Fantasy Lorecast. I'm one of your hosts, Ben of Temeria, followed by my two awesome co-hosts and friends here, Trey.
Hello.
And Steven.
Yo.
And we are continuing this week with another episode of Locations from the Final Fantasy series. And this week we are going over Final Fantasy II and Final Fantasy III. Reason being is Final Fantasy II, yes, there's quite a bit of locations, and there's info on these locations, but it's not like the later you get into the series, it gets a lot more constructive and a lot more detailed in the locations you go to. Like the earlier games, hey, there's a town. Hey, this happens in this town. That's it.
Yeah.
It's all about the gameplay and like your character journey rather than the locales that you visit.
Right. Still pretty D&D heavy.
Yes.
This early on.
Exactly. I just played 2 again a few weeks ago. Oh, awesome. Awesome, Boom. You played FF2 just a few weeks ago. Quick question. How long does it take you to get through FF2? I am very curious about that.
I hear it's rough because of the grinding.
Oh, there is. Well, I mean, if you have the Pixel Edition, you can use the EXP bump and all that.
I think the training trait. Did you play 2 at all? I don't remember if it was you.
No. So the way it leveled up was like if you wanted to level up your defense, you had to get attacked, and
That's right.
if you wanted to level up your attack, you had to hit people.
Yeah,
I think it was definitely made a lot easier on the Pixel Edition, but I haven't gotten to that one yet. I'm still on 4, and I started up 6. I started up 1 also. I loaded up 6, and I was like, no, that's too much. But I'm on 4 and 1.
So Boom says if you got the boost on, it's like 10 hours. That's not bad.
That's not bad, no.
That's like
if you have the boost on.
2-3 days max if you play it like maybe 4 days. It depends on how much you play. If you're like me,
if you sit down with the guide on your phone and you know what to do and you know which steps to take, it takes, like you said, it probably takes about 10-12 hours. If you're like Ben, it might take a little longer.
Whoa! What do you mean by 10? Oh, okay. You're talking about me, you know.
Not finishing it.
Shut up. I'm sorry. There's just too much going on in life.
You gotta at least finish 16.
I know. I need to get finished 16. I think I'm halfway through 16.
Well, all 3 of us need to get around to finishing up Rebirth.
That too. I'm halfway through that.
Cosmo Canyon.
Bring up the walk to on Steam and just follow it. Oh, okay, cool. But all right. Well, to get into this episode for today, we're going over the locations and locales of FF2. So, and Box Girl just said that they finished Rebirth finally. Awesome.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Now you can move on to 14, right?
Nope.
So with FF2, we do have all these different regions. So we have Fynn, Snowfield, Kasuan, I think that's how you say it, Deist, Mystia, and Palmacia. So Fynn is going to be, is a city from FF2. Oh no, there's an ad. The capital is the Kingdom of Fynn, located in the northwest of the Palestinian Empire, and resists its world domination campaign. The town, the castle, and dungeon are visited. So, and all these regions you go through, Misty is the one that really stands out to me. I've yet to play FF2. It is on my list. But does it
stand out to you because it's also the only name I recognize that they've used in other games?
Yes. They use it in other games, and mainly one of the main bosses that you will face is from in this lake that you go to in Mystia. You know what I'm talking about, Trey?
I think so.
The Mystia Dragon? No?
I think okay. So.
So, if anybody had read the Final Fantasy Lost Stranger manga, I do highly recommend it for everyone. It's essentially they do have a lot. It's essentially an isekai manga. Someone from our world, brother and sister, who, funny enough, work at Square Enix, get hit by a truck, like any other isekai, get transported into another world, which is a Final Fantasy-like world. There is a lot of inspiration, mainly from 14, but they do bring in a lot of different characters and creatures and whatnot from the Final Fantasy series as a whole into the manga, just like 14. It says the manga is essentially, hey, this is a 14-like manga. But within the first volume, something major event happens, and it deals with the Mystidia Dragon, which is a very tough ice dragon boss.
Right.
I didn't
Okay.
see
Yeah.
anything other about it in this game particularly.
Oh, okay. So moving on, we do have the towns and castles. So we have Altair, Gatra, Fynn, Paloom, Poff, Solomond, Bafsk. That's a Bafsk.
Yeah, I don't know.
Keshkun Keep, Castle Deist, Castle Fynn, Mystia, and Castle Palmacia. So, a lot of reuse of the same regions with the towns and castles, just like you would be in like a D&D session with your friends. A lot of reused content because it's such early with the series, and they didn't know what would happen after 2 anyway.
Yeah.
So they used a lot of, they just reused names, and because it was easy for the storytelling.
They definitely
it's not like we would ever do anything. We'd never use names like that. I mean, I immediately thought New York for Fynn, because you've got Fynn the region, you've got Fynn the town, and you've got Castle Fynn. So for me,
right,
having not played the game, it sounds like Fynn is being made to be like if not the most important. It's got a lot of stuff.
Yes,
I think I read that it's the starting area. It's where you first.
Oh,
escape.
so maybe it's just the most detailed because that's where you start, and they want it. That's
and go
where,
back.
Everyone plays.
Yeah, I believe Fynn is the starting area. Boom can correct us on that in chat, but I believe so. Normally, when I do these research, typically the order they're in is the order you typically go through, through the story.
Well, that
Right.
makes sense.
Because they're not all
Recognize
alphabetical.
Altair.
What, from Assassin's Creed?
No, I don't like Assassin's Creed, but let's not get off in that tangent.
No. And yes, Boom does agree. Yes, Fynn is the first area. Thank you, Boom.
I like the town name Palom.
Palom or Paloom?
Paloom makes me think of Palom from 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Paloom, also known as Palm or Parm, is a town in FF2. As part of a port town, much as the income comes from the ferrying service, offering people quick and safe ship travel to the nearby port town of Porf for a princely sum of 32 gil. 32 gil. I mean, early games it was a lot, but thinking
I
of
currently have about 40,000-50,000 in Rebirth and nothing to use it on.
I have over 1,014,000.
All right, well.
So, but you can spin that pretty quick. Just saying.
Yeah, buying a fake house.
Yeah,
and
no,
you
I
gotta
am
buy fake furniture to put in it too, don't you know?
And furniture.
right. Okay. The 14 housing market is just like our housing market in today's society. It's not like other MMOs where you can go and get a house and it's yours forever. No, you physically have to buy the plot of land, buy the construction, and then you finally have a house. On top of that, you have to bid for the plot of land. It's like 5-6 million gil just to have your own estate.
Second Life, Final Fantasy Edition.
Right.
It's insane. No, you start in Altair, then go to Fynn. You don't really do much in Altair. Oh, okay. So, moving on to dungeons. So, we have the Summit Falls, Bath Sewers, Snow Cavern, Dreadnought, Dice Cavern, Colosseum, Tropical Island, Cave of Mystia, Leviathan, Mystian Tower, Cyclone, Jade Passage, and Pandemonium.
Oh, Pandemonium. Classic.
Yeah, that is a very classic dungeon, reused name dungeon in the Final Fantasy series. That is for sure. Because there's many
I'm
dungeons.
pretty sure, Trey, isn't Pandemonium in 9? Isn't that Kuja's one of his areas?
I believe so. Yeah.
And this is also
it's Garland's castle.
Yeah, that sounds right.
and the Cave of Mystia is where Leviathan sleeps. And then Leviathan as a dungeon, you get swallowed by Leviathan and you have to get yourself out.
That makes sense. I enjoy that dungeon a lot now.
So, yeah, you have to... Leviathan eats you. So then you have to escape from its stomach. Or wherever. Oh, and you meet a Dragoon. In the Cave of Mystia? Or in Altair?
Or inside Leviathan.
Or Leviathan.
And,
I can't remember. Well, I don't know.
Boomhauser, I'm just curious. Do you know where you exit the Leviathan?
Oh, God.
Sure hope it's the blowhole.
Leviathan is a serpent, sir.
Well, I mean, it's also fantasy. Can have a blowhole.
I don't know if that... I don't think that's how that works, but okay. Inside, and you leave its you leave in its rear.
Okay, this has sold me on Final Fantasy II already. You get swallowed by Leviathan. You get to meet a Dragoon inside Leviathan, and then you get pooped out by him. Like, what more do you want?
I was just reading on Pandemonium. Apparently, it's the capital of hell, and it's ran by Satan. I was like, wait, am I still reading Final Fantasy II? Is that correct?
Ran by Satan? What?
The Emperor beats him. and then he takes over, apparently.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
I'm fascinated by this game. If it wasn't for the dumb leveling up system, I might have already played it.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the level up system is based on essentially like skill based
Yeah, I hate that.
system and not like an actual level system. Yeah, it's it reminds me of Oblivion, Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, to where if you want to have a really good high jump skill, jump a lot.
Yeah.
Stuff like
I don't
that.
like it, but I do appreciate them being willing to try different things. I like that each battle system is so different and unique. And yeah, this one was a miss, but it's widely viewed as the biggest miss that they've had. And so I just wanted to point that out. Like, yeah, it really sucks that they missed the mark on this one, but I don't want it to seem like we're discouraging them from continuing to try things.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's what I love about Final Fantasy is each game is just so different and new and just brings something to the table.
Yes, exactly. And then next we do have the Dawn of Souls bonus location. So this is all stuff that was released in Japan. So we do have a new town, Makion, and then we have 2 new dungeons, Raki in Raboth, and then we do have an anniversary bonus dungeon, Arcane Labyrinth, and Pursuria. So, yeah, we have all that stuff from the bonus locations they add with the Dawn of Souls, and then the anniversary. So the Dawn of Souls was part of the compilation of the first 2 games in the series released in Japan under Final Fantasy 1-2 Advance. And both games were for the WonderSwan color.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, and they did release it in the US in November 29th, 2004. It was on Nintendo.
I was looking at the box art, and I thought I had that, yeah.
So I think it might have been under a different name here in the US.
It was Dawn of Souls here.
Dawn of Souls, just Final Fantasy
Yeah, it
Dawn
was
of Souls.
Yeah, in Japan it was Final Fantasy 1-2 Advance, but here it was Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls.
Okay. So
it came out on the Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance, gosh.
Yep.
Did y'all have one of those? I had one.
Sure did, but I didn't
Yeah,
have
that's what I played in study hall.
Nice. I had an SP, so it fit in my pocket. Fold down and put it in my pocket, and I would take it anywhere.
It looks pretty good for a 2004 GBA game.
I mean, it was originally on the NES, so
It's true.
doesn't take much to port that over to early 2000s Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some rough Game Boy Advance games even in that period.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Rough
That is a
looking.
fair point. All the ones I played were decently well. My favorite was always Zoids. If you remember those, you're good.
I remember Zoids, but I don't remember the game.
Oh, they had such great games. And they killed it recently. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Anyway, off topic there. But next, we are going into Final Fantasy 3. So that was all for Final Fantasy 2. So it was short. We weren't going to really go a whole lot into it. But with Final Fantasy 3, that's when they start really dialing up story, locations, locale, all the 9 yards, because they know Final Fantasy is selling. So they're putting more time and effort into the games as they release more. So we do first have the Floating Continent. So the Floating Continent is the first world map that the party explores. It is created by the Exceed by accident and carried by the Owen and Deesh. After Owen falls into a deep sleep that puts the floating continent in danger, Deesh must go to the Tower Owen to fix what has happened. The floating continent takes up the first portion of the game. So within the floating continent, it includes the following areas. We have the Parmeni Mountains, mountain range that divides the kingdom of Suin into inner and outer Suin. We have Altair Cave. Where the adventure begins, 4 orphans, or Luneth in the 3D remake, find themselves in the middle of the cramped cave after falling through a hole of its first floor. Here, as the party finds the Wind Crystal and receives their first job classes.
Nice.
Next, we have the hometown of the 4 orphans, Luneth and Ark, where they are raised by the village elder, Topapa, and their adoptive mother Nina. So, just going through all the locations you eventually go through and, go in chronological order here. We next have Kazis. South of is a village cursed by the Jinn's incarnation. Cid can be found here, offering his airship in exchange for helping him return to his home in the Canaan. Taka, the blacksmith, can also be found here. In the Nintendo DS remake, Taka is Rifa's adoptive father. Next, we have the Mithril Mines, also located in Kazis, is the Mithril Mines, which contains 2 Mithril swords. And if you don't know, Mithril is also very good.
It's kind of, yeah.
Mithril's good. In any RPG setting, Mithril is good. You want Mithril. Well, not all RPG settings, but a good portion of RPG settings. Mithril is pretty well high sought and strong.
I don't want to say too much as to avoid spoilers, but there is a reference to it, and it's not very good in Rebirth.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah,
it's kind of like coal power at that point in the game.
Right,
like
that's
that used
true.
To be awesome.
Used to be awesome, but now it's kind of redundant.
When you compare it to burning human souls, it's just not quite as powerful.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's true. Next, we have Castle Sassoon. The residents of the royal family of the Suin Kingdom on the floating continent. The people of Suin Castle, including the king, also fell under the Jinn's curse. When Princess Sarah sets the mithril ring in the castle holy spring, the curse is lifted. In return, the castle gives the party the canoe. In the DS remake, Ignis finds one of the king's soldiers who narrowly escapes the Jinn's curse. Ingus, not Ingus. Or what did I say? Did I say Ingus?
No, he said
Ignis.
Ignis
Like
from
15.
I said Ignis. Ingus, not Ignis. That's a different character all entirely.
It is interesting that there's another Princess Sarah, because that's
right.
Also
FF1.
We're
talking about one. FF1.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they just reused the name in 2.
I believe though. So in this, it's Sara, and the 1 is Sarah.
Yeah.
It's
big
just different
change.
Spelling. Big change. 1 letter drop.
Yeah.
So next we
not the same person, I swear.
Not the same person. So next we have the Sealed Cave, the residence of the Jinn, a fire demon wreaking havoc in the kingdom of Suin and Kazis. The orphans meet Princess Sarah here, one of the few not afflicted by the curse, and on her way to vanquish the fiendish demon. Sarah got the Cid treatment. Yeah, pretty much. He's like, hey, we'll just reuse the same character. They're definitely not the same person, but the same name.
Yeah.
But Cid's always spelled the same in every single game, though.
Well, until
CID.
Sidolphus.
So what?
Until they give him a full name. They give him Sidolphus in 16.
Good point. Yeah, that's a fair point.
They church it up in that.
Next, we have the Nivelle Valley, the only passage between the inner and outer Suin. At the beginning of the story, a larger boulder is blocking the way into the outer lands, and it must be destroyed by Cid's airship once a ram has been attached. And then we have Canaan, Cid's home and village adjacent to Dragon's Peak. Unfortunately, Cid's airship must be sacrificed in order to clear a path towards the town. This is also the home of Selenia, Desh's pinning lover.
Poor Cid and his airship.
Right.
I feel like that happens a lot for our boy Cid.
Yeah, every single time where it's Cid specifically has the airship, yes. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, it gets crashed. Like, I feel like he loses out on his airship a lot.
Yeah. Yes, he does.
And his poor rocket.
So next we have Dragon's Peak. The mountains near Canaan serve as the hunting grounds for Bahamut. Once reaching the summit, the orphans get scooped into the creature's nest. While there, the Warriors of Light meet Desh, a young man suffering from amnesia who gives the Warriors of Light the mini spell. Yeah, that must be terrifying. Hey, you go to the Dragon's Keep, and oh, by the way, Bahamut's here.
That dang amnesia. They love amnesia in Final Fantasy.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my god.
And then we have next is the Healing Corpse, which is a great name. There's only a single gnome here, along with 3 well springs.
Sweet place.
I just love the name Healing Corpse.
I believe it's Copes.
Copes? Oh, that is Copes. Not corpse, that's Copes. You're right. That's not a corpse. That's
A little more manageable.
That's better. Yeah. That'd be terrifying. Healing Corpse. What? What kind of spring is this?
There's a whole lot of nothing in that area.
Right? Then we have Tuzus, a village of gnomes. One must be under the affliction of the mini spell in order to find it and enter it. There's a tunnel reached via one of the houses that pierces through the Myros Mountains. If the Warriors of Light pass through the tunnel, they will arrive at the Vikings Cove.
That's a really cool mechanic, having to be tiny to get through to a town.
Cool.
Right. And then, obviously, next we have the Tovus Tunnel. This path infested with monsters that lead to the Vikings Cove. However, the party can only enter it through under the spell Mini.
So I wonder if you're mini the whole time, like you're fighting all those monsters, are you just tiny?
That's a good question. Well, I would imagine the monsters are tiny too.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. But they're also tiny because it's such a tiny space. So it looks like everyone's regular size, but everybody's really just tiny.
Right.
Boom says it is. It's like in 9 whenever you're having to.
Oh, you are.
When you're playing as a character that's a frog. I won't say
Oh, yeah.
But you're playing as that, and then you're trying to avoid getting caught by the hedgehog pie monster. And when you're looking at him, he's gigantic. But then when you are playing as a human again and you go in, it's like this tiny little, like rat-looking thing.
And then now we
use magic.
And then now we have the Vikings Cove, a stronghold for the Vikings who are trapped because of the attacks of the Nepo dragon. The Viking leader appeals to the party for help here. After placing Nepo, the party is rewarded a sailing ship, the Enterprise.
Nice.
If you don't know that name, the Enterprise is normally the name of Sid's famous airship. In most games. Not all games, but... Or it's typically an airship in general of that name.
It's also Star Trek.
Yeah. Well, that's where the reference comes from.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's where the reference comes from, is because of Star Trek.
that makes sense.
Yeah, Star Trek was well out before Final Fantasy existed.
Enterprise was?
No, Star Trek was out before Final Fantasy.
Right, but Star Trek Enterprise is...
The Enterprise was in the original Star Trek.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never
It's
watched
Captain
it.
Kirk's ship.
I've just heard the name Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah, there's a show. There's one of the spin-off shows called Star Trek. I'm pretty sure it's a show called Star Trek Enterprise. There's many spin-offs of Star Trek. But yes, the Enterprise is in the original Star Trek.
Oh, well. You learn something new every day.
So next we have a Nipto Temple, a temple built for the sole purpose of worshipping the Nippo dragon. When a greedy rat steals one of the eyes off the statue of Nipto, is one of the heroes to shrink, enter the statue, and regain the eye. In gratitude, Nippo bestows the Water Fang upon the Warriors of Light.
A lot of shrinky-dinking in this game.
Oh, yes. And
Yeah,
then
they discovered the mechanic and they were like, we got to use this up.
right.
Every area. Let's make our guys small.
And then we have Tokol. This little backwoods village was left in shambles after the attacks of the Wizard Hein and the soldiers of Castle Argus. At one point, the party gets captured by Hein's henchmen here. And then we have Village of Ancients, located in the southwest end of the floating continent. The citizens of this village are descendants of the ancients of yore. A chocobo forest can be found nearby. Now we have Living Woods. The fairies here are upset because the Witch of Hine was cursed their forest elder tree and bewitched it into the floating castle. Once the party returns the elder tree into the forest, he gives the group the Fang of Wind as thanks. Do you have something to say, Stephen?
Oh, just that there's Village of the Ancients in
Right.
here.
And ancients is a commonly used term in other Final Fantasy series. Yep.
Yeah.
Then we have Golgan Gulch, the dwelling place of the Golgans. Blind prophets and foretold the coming of the earthquake and submerged wind crystal. One of the Golgans gives the Warriors of Light the spell Toad. Ew, I hate that spell.
It's awful.
Now we have Castle Argus. The visor of King Argus Hine was overtaken by the darkness. After the earthquake, he captured King Argus and his subjects and imprisoned them in the floating tower, which doubles as the base of operations. The King Argus also possesses a fabled Wheel of Time, the secret device responsible for the creation of airships.
Wheel of Time, boy, there. Okay.
Right. Tower of Owen, the powerhouse of floating continent, it actually is responsible for keeping the landmass in the sky. Here, Desh recalls his true identity of the keeper of the Tower of Owen. Now we have Grashel, a small farming village village far removed from the center of civilization. Grashel is also popular for selling magic keys.
And is also the name of the grass that chocobos eat in
Yes.
every other game, you know?
Yep.
Tower of Odin. Owen. Tower of Owen. Why didn't we get a Tower of Desh if they're like supposed to be cared for by each other? Does Desh not have a tower? Does he just not invite us to his tower? What's the story with that is what I want to know.
Who is Owen? Who is Owen?
Created by
the floating continent was created by Owen.
Oh, well, it was created by Xandi by accident and then cared for by Owen and Desh.
Right, yeah.
After Owen falls into a deep sleep that puts the floating continent in danger, Desh must go to the Tower of Odin to fix what has happened. But is Desh leaving his tower? Does he also have a tower? I guess he does, but I just thought it was weird that we don't get to go to his tower.
Everybody gets a tower?
No.
Well, just the two protectors of the continent. Like, you got your two big protectors. You get a tower on each side. Then everybody else, they don't get towers. Only the two.
Only the two. So now we have Dwarven Hollows. A horn of the dwarves was taken by the thief Gusco, who then fled to the subterranean lake. Then we have Subterranean Lake. Gusco has taken refuge in the Subterranean Lake after defeating him. However, he stays in the player's shadow and nabs both horns, and when the party places them in the altar, he then heads north to the Molten Cave to become the Salamander. And obviously we move to the Molten Cave. Gusco runs here with both horns of ice. The Molten Cave has treacherous lava falls and damaging to the Warriors of Light when stepped on. Here the warriors can defeat Gusco, who is transformed into the Salamander, and retrieve the horns of ice. The Flame Cave also houses the Fire Crystal, which grants new jobs to the heroes.
Hallelujah.
Castle Hine, the Wizard Hine, was uprooted the Elder Tree from the Living Woods and mobilized into the Floating Palace. He then captured King Argus, who used to work under his advisor, and his entire court. Upon the group's return to Torkoal, Hine dispatches his henchmen to capture the party as well. We have then Lake Dor, the home of the legendary sea serpent Leviathan. Lake Dor can only be reached with the Invincible and the canoe. And then we have Bahamut's Lair, home of the King of Summons, Bahamut. Pretty simple with that one.
Yeah.
And then Chocobo Woods. 3 Chocobo Woods are found on the surface of the floating continent. And then next we have the Flooded World. So this is also in the floating continent. So we have the wrecked ship. The beach ship is a solitary island in which the Arya is recovering from an earthquake. She and an old man are the only 2 survivors. We have Temple Water. Shards of the broken water crystal reside here. The Temple Water also contains healing springs. And then we have Cave of Tides. Thanks to Arya, the party can get through the sealed paths. The water crystal is broken. Only Arya can take the shards from the water temple and restore it to the crystal, thereby making the rest of the world arise from the watery grave. However, Kraken, a servant of Zadid, hits her with an arrow as soon as she finishes the job. After defeating Kraken, the heroes are blessed with the light of the crystal. And that's it for the flooded world. Pretty quick and simple with that one.
Is that like in, obviously I haven't played 2, but is that like in 6 where there's the ruined world, like everything just goes to hell?
So the worlds in 2, from when doing this research, they're all part in the same world. It's not like they're different dimensions or anything. They're just in different parts of the world.
Okay, so just part of the world is just underwater.
Yes.
Fascinating. Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Some of it's floating.
Stuff.
I get it. I'm like, okay, so some of it's floating, some of it's all just underwater, and some of it's right there on the surface.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Which we'll get into right after the mid-break.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
All right, welcome to the middle of the show where we're talking about everything to do with the podcast. It has nothing to do with the lore of Final Fantasy. I almost said a different show again. My gosh. But here, I want to thank all of our patrons, and thank you, Boomhauser, for upgrading your patron from a $5 tier up to our Warrior Light tier, who you will be joining us every end of the month on the show. Thank you so much. It's going to be a lot of fun. And you and Purple Archer, thank you, get to choose what we get to talk about. So super excited for that. And then if you want to support the show like them, you can go to patreon.com/Final Fantasy Lorecast to get ad-free episodes, or even join us once a month at the end of the month on the show. You can also support us on Apple and Spotify. Leave a 5-star review on Apple with some words. We'll read it out loud next time on the show, as well as a nice Spotify comment, which we do have one this week. We have it from our last week's episode from Boomhauser, Arena from 15. She is the Dragoon from the Imperial Army. And last week we were drafting our favorite characters into a party and then see which ones would be best. Mine was ranked 3rd. So, because I chose 14 characters because I love 14 so much.
You could have used her and your party would have improved drastically.
You know what? That's fair. That is fair. Okay, I know. But regardless, you can go support us that way. And you can also find us in a few different Discord servers. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, as well as the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, which is my own Discord where you can find this show as well as the other shows that I host, Holocron Histories, the Wizard World Lorecast, and the Witcher Lorecast. Both links are provided in the description of the episode below. And you can find us live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/BenofTamara. Go subscribe, go get notifications. It's a lot of fun. We answer questions as we go on in the chat. And just like right now, Boomhauser says, you guys said none for 15. There you go. Thank you, Boom. Yeah, we didn't say any characters from 15. We even said that at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, Noctis would have been the one to consider once we decided we were going to be battling. But I did like the side characters a lot, like even better than Noctis. I thought they did a good job of at least building those guys. The best part of 15 is the journey with you and your buddies.
Yes, highly agree.
You and the boy band.
You and the boy band. That's true. But yeah, there we have it for the mid break. And then, yeah, let's get right back into more FF3 locations.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Hey guys, today I'm interviewing my cat about his perfect bistro food. Percy, you seem to be a big Perfect Bistro fan. Care to comment? Totally. What do you like about it? You love the high-quality ingredients? And the delicious flavors, of course. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Listen to Percy, guys. Visit perfectbistro.com to try it for your cat.
All right, we are back from the mid-break, and now we are going over the surface world. So we had floating, we have flooded, now we have the surface.
Should be the last one, right? Wrong.
No, there's a couple others.
Oh my god.
So with the surface world, we have Amur. After the world resurfaces, an old man finds the Warriors of Light unconscious in the Cave of Tides. In Amur, the Warriors learn that the man named Goldor, has chained up their ship and prevent them from taking his crystal. The party also learns to reach Goldor's mansion, they will need Levigrass shoes. Delia, a lady living in Amur's sewers, owns these shoes. Amur is also home to 4 men who believe they are the true Warriors of Light. And the next we go into the sewers. Delia, the eccentric old woman who owns the Levigrass shoes, lives here. Once the players find her, she gives the party her Levigrass shoes, which makes sense because you kind of have to progress the story there.
That makes sense, yeah.
Then they move on to Goldor Manor. Goldor Manor is guarded by the Bottomless Swamp. Everything in the mansion is made of gold, and all doors are locked by the possessive Goldor. Goldor's fake crystal, which creates gold, is located here. After fighting Goldor, he will destroy his own crystal as he prevents the Warrior Light from taking it. The mansion also contains the lock to Goldor's chain. When touched, the lock vanishes into thin air, providing access to the party's ship once again. And literally, all I'm reading here is Goldar, and that literally is Power Rangers. I'm like, right there.
Also, Goldor's crystal creates gold.
Right.
They got real creative with
right,
with
I know.
The
names. They're great. Next we have a Replito. Replito is a town comprised entirely of summoners, where they were very knowledgeable of summons.
That does make sense as well.
Yeah, right. Entirely of summoners, and they're very knowledgeable about summons. Makes pretty sense. Next we have Duster. Duster is a town with many bards and geomancers. They have useful advice. Right there, that's it. You get
I love these
awesome
advice.
advice.
They get right to the point. That's why they're so good at giving advice. They just get right to it.
Right. And then we have Cersonia. The world's biggest city is divided into 4 sectors: northwest, northeast, southeast, and southwest, and a castle. Northwestern Cersonia houses the city's library, where all the shops can be found in the northeastern sector of the city. The tower in the southeastern sector of Cersonia is called the Dragon Tower. The treasure of the family of dragoons is there. Ooh. In southwestern Cersonia, the pub can be found, where Prince Atlas has been banished by King Gom. After saving Atlas from some ruffians in the pub, he will thank the party, and join them as a guest. Cool stuff. And next we have Castle Cersonia. When flying around Cersonia, the player's airship will be caught in a crossfire and shot down. At the castle's war zone, the warriors learn that Cerconian army can be split into two, battering in a civil war. Initially, Cerconia Castle was closed by the party by orders of the king, with Atlas in tow. However, the guards will allow them to enter. While at the castle, the party will be forced to fight Gigameth, King Gom's puppeteer, in the form of Garuda.
Oh.
Following King Gom's death, Atlas succeeds him as king of Cerconia. Afterwards, scholars inform the warriors that they have excavated. Gosh, yes. The Nautilus airship and pass it on to the party. Finally, there is a blocked-off room in the castle where Odin lives. The room can be only accessible through the Cerconia catacombs. So, there's a lot of summons in here.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious. It's Garuda, but under the name Gigameth as a puppet of Gorn. Like, oh,
it's a puppet. So Then we have Dragon Spire. The tower is full of monsters located in the southeast Cerconia. The chest at the top contains equipment for dragoons. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Nice.
We have Daga's Manor. Daga's house is located in the Dao continent. With the Nautilus, the party will be able to withstand the harsh winds and reach the home, where he lives with the Moogle bodyguards. While speaking with the party, he joins the team. In the house, there is a secret passage leading to the Cave of the Circle. He has Moogle bodyguards. Beware. Moogles can be dangerous.
Well, you've seen how annoying they are in Rebirth whenever you have to try and round them up.
Try fighting them in 14. They're annoying in that, too. You actually fight... There's actually a trio that you go through in 14 where you fight King Mog. And you fight Moogles. It's very annoying. Easy, but annoying. So next we have the Cave of the Circle. A secret passage inside Daga's house leads to the Cave of the Circle. However, the cave's small size can only allow gnomes to enter. The magic circle is connected to another dimension where the Eruka key lies. At the end of the cave, Daga enchants the Nautilus, enabling it to go under the sea. We have Daga's Village. Daga's Village is geographically enclosed and can be only reached with the Nautilus via a secret underwater passage. All the magic sword of the village was discovered from ancient times by Daga. Then we have Urine's Shrine. Urine, slumbering in the dream world, lives here with her parrot, and playing Noah's lute. She wakes from her dreams. After waking up, the party receives the Fang of Fire. And then we have Ancient Runes,
I know we have to hurry, but how far down the list would a parrot be if you had to pick something to hang out with, for eternity while you slept, while you were in a dream world? I feel like a parrot is pretty far down the list for me.
I mean, Jafar had one in the lamp.
You want to be like Jafar?
So
they talk back to you.
I guess you're right. They do talk back to you. If you got to pick an animal, they do talk back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about Jafar from Aladdin, if no one gets that reference there.
I picked up.
Okay. Now we have Ancient Runes. At present, scholars are excavating the Ancient Runes, but adamantine blocks their path. Urine blasts the adamantine away, clearing the path. At the end of the cave, the Invincible is found, the ultimate airship.
Nice.
So that's where Invincible comes from early on. Now we have Falgabard. A town enclosed by mountains can be only reached by the mountain jumping capability of the Invincible. Falgabard is the town of dark knights attempting to master the dark sword. There's also a treasure-filled cave in the northern area of the town.
That sounds cool.
Cave
whole town full of dark knights.
Heck yeah, dark knights are awesome. Cave of Shadows, only accessible with the Invincible. The monsters of the Cave of Shadows multiply if struck by any weapon besides a dark sword, which requires a dark knight. At the end lies a boss guarding the Fang of Earth. Then we have Dagga's Grotto. Through Dagga's Manor, the party can access this cave. Dagga summons the party at the end of the cave, where he informs them to make the Eureka Key complete. Subsequently, the party must battle and defeat both him and Yuri. After defeating them, they pass away and give the Eureka Key and the Cyrus Key. Then we have Ancient's Maze, guarded by 4 statues created by Zadid. The party first visits the Ancient's Maze for the Earth Crystal. The Earth Crystal bestows the Warriors of Light the new set of jobs. Through the Ancient Maze, one can enter the Crystal Tower, and through that, the Forbidden Land of Eureka. Get it? Eureka.
Yeah.
And then
they were really clever on this one.
Right. And then Crystal Tower. The Crystal Tower acts as the entrance to Eureka. On the first floor of the tower lies the entrance to the Forbidden Land of Eureka. At the tower's top is Zadid. In defeating Zadid, the party will warp to the world of darkness. Then we have Forbidden Land Eureka. All the sealed weapons guarded by powerful enemies are found in Eureka. The Elder Staff bestows the jobs of Ninja and Sage upon the party. In the remake, the Earth Crystal grants these jobs. Eureka also contains a magic shop with the strongest magic and summons in the game. That's a good side note to have. And then Chocobo Woods. 7 Chocobo Woods are found in the surface of the world. Then we have Underwater. So we do go underwater. So we have the Serona Catacombs. There is once a passage from the seafloor of the castle cellar. The Serona Catacombs can be entered via submarine from the bottom of the sea. Eventually, the catacombs led to the castle itself, where Odin was sealed his own power in a self-imposed slumber. We have Sunken Cave. The Sunken Cave is located due to south of the Triangle Island and accessible only through the Nautilus. The cave houses all sorts of treasures and monsters. We have Temple of Time. Located in the ocean floor, the Temple of Time is littered with locked doors. It contains the only thing which can wake Yuri from her age-long slumber, Noah's lute.
And it makes Link a lot older.
Yes, that's true. And then we have Iron Giant's Cave. So this is only in the 3D remake. Located far east from the floating continent is the fallen star. Spoken in the old Saronian legend, legend says it comes down to the sea and swallowed all evil in the world. The star is accessible by sending 7 males to another player via Mognet and sending 4 other males to Atlas and 4 old men. The star houses the strongest boss in the game, the Iron Giant. The cave is called 3 question marks in the game. So, yeah, it's only in the 3D remake. And the last but not least, we have the World of Darkness. So, after defeating Zexid in the Crystal Tower, the Warriors of Light must follow the Cloud of Darkness into the World of Darkness. Clones of Zexid infest the World of Darkness. The Dark World has a full set of crystals corresponding to those of Light World. The Wind Dark Crystal, Water Dark Crystal, Earth Dark Crystal, and the Fire Dark Crystal. The group is also held by the 4 Warriors of Dark, who offer to lend their power. Each crystal is guarded by an extremely powerful monster at the edge of World of Darkness. Cloud of Darkness awaits. The 4 Warriors of Dark neutralize the Dark Cloud's dark power, allowing the heroes to battle the Cloud of Darkness on equal ground. Yeah.
It's probably my favorite antagonist.
The Cloud of Darkness.
Cloud of Darkness.
And then we do have other appearances from these locations. So the floating continent appears as a stage representing Final Fantasy III and I think not Super Smash.
Dissidia?
Dissidia. Thank you. The design of the environment is based on the appearance of 3D versions. Opening movie and battles take place on one of the continent's floating rocks. At the beginning of the battle, the main stage is surrounded by dense clouds with other distant floating rocks and isles barely visible. And then during that stage transition, the Crystal Tower is far in distance, depicts the clouds concealing the continent, revealing its bright blue skies, and the Invincible rises and below the resurfaced continent, circling the stage. Pretty sure that's Dissidia. Yeah, that should be Dissidia. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, that's what we have on locations in Final Fantasy 2 and 3.
Well, those are a couple of fascinating games. One of these
Right.
days we'll get around to it on
One of these days. Yeah, that's true. But any final thoughts or anything, comments or anything for all these locations?
No, I just think
really...
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I'm excited to dive into Leviathan.
I want to explore its entrails.
I will say that the cloud of darkness is not an actual cloud.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. That'd be
Like
a very, really anticlimactic fight.
It's just a big green lady is what it is.
It's a big green
It makes
lady.
me think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you guys have seen Lost, but the smoke monster.
Oh, I know the smoke monster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I do think it's interesting in these early on in these games where they get the references from, because they're not quite so self-contained like they are now. Like in the newer Final Fantasy games, it's all references to previous games. But in these, it's like there's biblical references, there's pop culture like Wheel of Time and Star and Enterprise.
Right.
I think it's fun to see those older references as opposed to just.
And and then wait till we just get to the newer games. It's going to and like the ones we experience, it's going to be a lot more interesting and fun.
Yeah. It gets, there's a lot of self-references.
Now, I will say probably will not be going over 11 and 14 because there's just way too many.
But in 3, I loved how it had underwater the sunken cave that you could only get to through the Nautilus. Just like in 7, when you had to use the submarine to get down in that one area is what it made me think of. They definitely pulled that for 7, and now I didn't realize that that was a reference in 7.
7 pulled it from
that.
7.
7 pulled it from that. So I didn't realize it was a reference whenever I first played it, and that was where I leveled. So I spent a lot of time down in that stupid little sunken cave, and now I appreciate it even more.
Oh, I hated that section.
But yeah, go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I got stuck on that weapon for years. Couldn't get past that in 7. I think what is that, Emerald? In 7?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think Emerald's the toughest one. Because there's 3 of them, but Emerald is the one that I remember I had to look up a guide and basically just do what they told me.
Yeah, it's the only way to beat the weapons.
Right. So yeah, that's all we have for this week's episode. Everybody, thank you for watching live. Thank you for listening to the Final Fantasy Lorecast, and may the crystals guide you. Thank you for listening to the. You can find us on the Robots. Let me try that again. My freaking audio cut out. Thank you for listening to the Final Fantasy Lorecast. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net. You can find us on Twitter at FFLorecast, and you can email us at fflorecast@gmail.com.